Request permission to engage with intent to conduct a smash. Over.
Hey guys, just for something different, I'm going to talk about some of the communication options that Nat and I have tried over the years, what we liked and what we didn't like about each one. When you're out riding, sometimes it's beneficial to be able to talk to other riders. When you have big group rides, it's definitely handy for leads and sleeps to be able to keep in contact if there's any dramas on the ride or any hold-ups and whatnot. So the first one we've got here is the 6 Riders Bluetooth helmet-to-helmet communications, which they're only cheap eBay ones. You can get a pair kit of these for about $100 on eBay delivered, and they supposedly have a range of 1200 meters, but we'll get to that. The second one we tried with these helmet-to-helmet UHF, so pretty much the same as the 6 Riders, but instead of using Bluetooth technology, they run on UHF. So they are about $130 a pair, supposedly have a 3-kilometer range. And last but not least, the good old Uniden UH515 walkie-talkies. So yeah, they are around about $160 for the deluxe kit. You get the 2 walkie-talkies, you get speaker mics, you get belt clips, you get carabiners, you get earphone mics and a few other bits and pieces, and they supposedly have an 8-kilometer range. Alright, so the 6 Riders Bluetooth. I'll list the pros and cons of each one anyway. The first point I'll make about these guys can be a pro and a con. They are always on, so when you're out riding with someone and you're connected to them, you can hear them the whole time. So every little swear word you mutter and whatnot, the other person's going to hear. And that's not too bad of a problem. But when you both got loud pipes on your bikes, that's when it gets to be annoying, because you can hear their pipe through your helmet speakers, as well as your own pipe coming through your speakers, because the mic picks up everything. So that can be annoying. You get a bit of noise coming through. Now they are waterproof as well, so you don't have to worry about get caught in the rain or whatnot with these. They say they're waterproof. I think we have had them in the rain before and they haven't had any dramas. So yeah, these guys come with stereo speakers and obviously a microphone, a boom mic. We found the speakers to be quite clear, even at fairly good speed, hopping along at a good pace, you can still hear. Obviously the faster you go, the more wind noise you get, and it gets a bit harder to hear. I've just got this one installed in the road bike helmet at the moment. You can't really see the speakers, but they mount in behind the chin strap there. I think the mount for the actual unit came with a clip-on one, so there's a clip that slides underneath the edge of the helmet there. I think actually it broke off when it got caught around a vine or something out in the bush when I had it on the dirt bike helmet. So I've ended up just double-sided taping that guy on there, and that seems to work pretty well. So they just slide on there like that, and then you hook in your speakers. The battery life on these is bloody awesome, which is surprising because it's an open line of transmitting and receiving all day long, and they easily last a full day. We never ran them out of battery on a day ride. So you can also, obviously being Bluetooth, you can connect them to your phone for listening to music while you're riding or making phone calls, and obviously navigation as well. Now the bad things about these, with it being a speaker inside your helmet, some helmets have got room for them, some don't. So this helmet here, no worries, it's quite comfortable with the speakers in there. My Aero dirt bike helmet, on the other hand, no way. There's just not enough room. The speakers press on your ears. They are quite thin speakers. They don't stick out a lot, but trust me, when you got something just touching your ears, it's fine at first, but give it a few hours and you'll be ripping it out. Yeah, that's something you want to check. I think they are designed to fit into most helmets, so it really depends too. I've got pretty big ears, so. Another thing with these ones, probably compared to, say, the more expensive Cena and other brands like that, they have nice big dials and buttons on them, which are easy to press when you've got gloves and stuff on. These guys, you've only got really small buttons, and can be quite difficult to figure out what the hell you're trying to press. Even without gloves on, it's until you get used to it, yeah, it can be a pain in the ass. Another thing that sucks about these is you can only talk to one person at a time. They call them 6 riders. You can pair up to 5 other units on this one unit, but you can only talk to one person at a time. Probably the biggest drawback and the main reason that we don't use this for dirt bike riding is the range. They say 1200 meters, which is a long way, and I would say you probably would get close to that in the open. We tried them on a beach ride one time, and yeah, they worked really well out in the clear with no obstacles in between. I could barely see Nat, she was that far away, and we could still talk just fine. So yeah, the range is really good with a straight line with no obstacles in the way. But get out in the bush with them, get a few trees in between you, and it goes to shit real quick. So obviously Bluetooth isn't designed for that sort of long range communication, and it's not designed to penetrate obstacles and whatnot, so it's not really surprising that it's not great in that way. Makes them pretty well useless for you using out in the bush. If you're always sticking pretty close together, fine, you know, they'll work. But we found, you know, you get separated even just a little bit, even for a few minutes, they'll disconnect. They'll start going all scratchy and shit, and you can't hear anything, and then they'll just drop out. And sometimes it was really a pain in the ass to reconnect to that person, even when you were right beside each other again. Based on all those facts, we only use these now for road riding, which they do really well for. Maybe for adventure riding, they'd be okay, as long as you know you don't expect too much range when you've got a lot of trees and stuff in the way. So the good old UHF helmet radios, the good things about these, they're pretty easy to set up, similar to the Bluetooth jobbies to install. You've got a speaker that goes inside the helmet and a microphone. Obviously these are only mono speakers. From what we did test of them, they had pretty good range, definitely better than the Bluetooth. Battery life we can't really say because we didn't use them long enough. They are supposed to be waterproof, can't vouch for that either. Now we'll get to the cons of these. The reason why we didn't use them for very long, the first reason was these speakers. Now they are too thick, way too thick. That thing, the Bluetooth ones are thick, but they're soft fabric covered things, and they're definitely not as thick as these ones. Both Nat and I couldn't stand having that pressing up against our ear for very long. We ripped our helmets off and threw these in our backpacks pretty much after about 15 minutes of riding. So yeah, if they could improve that. Another thing that sucked about them was they weren't real easy to understand. Like, we were hoping that you'd be able to use them while riding, but because it was only one speaker, it was really hard to understand when you were moving, when you had the bike noise in your helmet as well. You had to pretty much pull up to talk anyway. And there's also a really bad lag after you press the button to talk. So you press the button, start talking, and the person you're talking to would only hear the second half of your sentence, which is really got annoying too. Okay, another thing about these is they don't use UHF CB channels, so you can't talk to people with normal CB radios. UHF, they use their own dedicated frequencies, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. But I found it would have been more useful if you could talk to other people with, you know, the usual 40 or 80 channel CB radios. And the way these work is, because it's a push to talk system, it's not always on. You have a PTT button there, so you can either press that on the side of your helmet to talk, or you actually pair it with these supplied remote units, which are pretty cool. You can wear it as a wristwatch or whatever. So you pair that to the unit, and then that becomes your push to talk button, which is pretty cool. And also has a little other one that I think you can strap that to your finger or something, or stick it on your glove. What we actually did was had this tied to the handlebars near your indicator switch on the left hand, so you could just reach over with your thumb and press that to talk. So a great idea, but they need work to really be useful. Now that brings us to what we currently use, good old walkie-talkies. So the good things about these guys, obviously they have the best range. They reckon 8 kilometers, but we haven't really tested it out. But they definitely, through thick bush and whatnot, you probably get close to 1 kilometre with them, which is pretty good. You get a hill in between you, it shortens it a lot. Obviously they don't penetrate through hills at all, but for distance and penetration through foliage and whatnot, these are the go. Really easy to set up. Obviously you turn them on flick to the same channel, press the button to talk, off you go. Battery life on these is great. They're only low powered. I think they're the UH515. I think they're 1.5 watt power output, which aren't hugely powerful, but they're good enough for what we do. So we took them on our camping trip a couple of weeks ago, and we used them every day for the 5 days that we were there. Obviously not using them constantly, just when we needed to, and they were still, I don't think they'd even gone down to half battery by the end of our camping trip. We didn't have to charge them at all. So another good thing about these is you can have as many as you like. You can, if your friends have got walkie-talkies, UHF walkie-talkies, just standard 40 channel or 80 channel or whatever, you know, you can get them to bring theirs along on the ride and whatnot, and you have multiple people. You can have, you know, you don't have to connect to different people one at a time like you do with the Bluetooth. You just, everyone can hear you when you talk, and as long as you're in range and whatnot, that can be a good thing too. A few bad things about these, I guess, they're not really waterproof. Because we use them with speaker mics, we had these units actually inside Ziploc bags and just had the wire coming out for the speaker mic, which we have on our shoulders. I'll show you that shortly. So they were fine in the bag in the rain. And the actual speaker mics themselves, I think Nats did stop working because it got really wet, but once it dried out again, it was fine. Probably the biggest drawback to these is unlike the Bluetooth, you can't use them while you're riding. You can try, but it's really hard to hear because you don't have that speaker in your ear, and you can't hear it when you're riding. You can usually get someone's attention, but you have to pull up to be able to understand what they're saying. So that's a bit of a drawback, but we live with that. Another big thing, mobile phone interference. Something to be aware of. I keep my mobile in my pocket, in my pants pocket while I'm riding, and this goes in my backpack. So and that's far enough away to not get any interference. But Nat actually will keep her phone in the pocket of the bag near the radio, and it'll cause a lot of interference. If you're gonna have a mobile phone in the bag close to these, you're gonna want to put it on airplane mode or turn the phone off completely. Yeah, so when we got these, we got the deluxe kit, which comes with the speaker mics, which you can see here. We just have them attached to the shoulder strap of our bags, so the wire just runs up through over the shoulder. You just hook it in through there, comes out, and that plugs into the unit. And you just set the unit down, and there's a little pocket in there that we put it in. So you end up with the speaker just here. So it's fairly close to your ear, and you can still talk pretty well. So yeah, you get a rechargeable battery pack with each one, but if the batteries do run low, you can actually take 3 AAAs will work as well. But yeah, I mean they last so long. Another thing I did find with these guys is the speaker mic stopped working after a while, and I found out that it was dust getting into the little micro switch behind here, which operates the push to talk, obviously. I managed to fix that. I actually pulled the speaker mics apart and cleaned out the little switch with just some contact cleaner, and then what I've actually done is just sealed the whole switch itself inside there with some silicone, and it works just fine. You know, no dust's obviously getting in there anymore. So, but yeah, depending on what you want to do, guys, I definitely recommend the Bluetooth for the road and maybe adventure riding. Steer clear of those UHF ones unless you can work out some way of improving the system. These are the way to go. Obviously there's tons of UHF walkie-talkies on the market. These ones I found to be a pretty good price point, and they come with all the gear that you need. So I hope you guys have found this useful. Obviously there are other options as well out there for communicating between bikes, but these are the ones that we've tried, and the walkie-talkies are the one we're sticking with for now. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next vid. You get stereo speakers. Now you also get stereo speakers with these guys. They fucking what? I always have peanuts in my fucking throat when I'm trying to talk.